YOUMedia, a
You
creative space for teens at the Harold Washington Library. What'd you learn there?
man. Oh, what did I learn there? That's a powerful question. Um, Gosh, I learned a lot about presentation and showmanship. I learned a lot about um, overcoming nerves. I learned a lot about the power of community and support. Um, I learned a lot about writing words and caring about words. I think I learned a lot about how musicians and artists, interact and can support each other and can work together. Um, I think I learned a lot about trusting my fellow Chicagoans. Because at that age, um, I think it would have been really easy for, different groups like a Save Money and a Pivot to like become mortal enemies or something, but we didn't. We like formed this alliance, or not even alliance, but really just this bond and this like mutual admiration, this mutual respect. And I think I learned a lot from that experience too, that people can be inspired by each other and support each other in that artistic kind of way, and it can supersede you know the sort of fears around kids being from different neighborhoods in the same place, kids with different backgrounds and different experiences sharing those experiences, being very vulnerable in front of each other, talking about poems and sharing poems and sharing pieces of their lives that are really personal. And I think I learned a lot about being like white in those spaces. um Not that there was like, here's your lesson, here's your tutorial, here's your guidelines, but just sort of from existing in those spaces and hearing so many, stories and where white people were abusing the situation or abusing people, or talking about really tough parts of our nation's history, and as poets do, and as young people do. um and I think I just w- learned a lot about sitting with that and not feeling like threatened or anything, but just feeling like, yeah, like we need to talk about this. And I'm glad I'm here to like receive this energy, even if it's upsetting, or whatever. It always felt very enlightening, and it never felt combative or attacky. It just, I think it was a powerful place to absorb people's truths, and it was one of the first places I recorded trumpet in the library with Chance, before he was even Chance the Rapper. um, so yeah, I think I learned a ton about creativity, about how to work with people, about how to support each other, and how to kind of get out the way and leave some space for just absorbing, just listening. Was such a powerful time in my life, just listening and absorbing all the stories and pieces of art that people would share. Um, and some of my favorite performances from, you know, insert your favorite Chicago artist happened there. Watching Fatima, No Name, watching Saba, watching Mick. Um, these were all standouts, that they would bring the house down with their poems or their bars or their showmanship. Um, so I just yeah, I remember those performances really, really fondly. And yeah, shout out to brother Mike. He was the main mentor there, running the space. And yeah, um, just a beautiful soul that I appreciate, you know, so much. I still remember um playing a song for him where he told me and Malcolm that it reminded him of the first time he heard Black Star, like
Mm,
Mo and Talib Kweli, and
hmm.
man, I'll take that to the grave. Like that just meant the world to me at the time, you know. So yeah, rest in peace. Shout out to him.
R.I.P. to him. I know you can't see it, but I'm putting myself in the full screen right now. I have 4 albums that rotate on the wall behind me. Right? I'm sorry, I can't even count. I have 6. And those albums are Midnight Marauders,
Mm,
3 Feet High, Black on Both Sides, Blowout Comb.
mm,
Which one is that? Which one is that? That is Battle of Los Angeles, duh.
mhm.
And the last one is Black Star.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
Black Star has not moved.
Mhm,
For the sole reason because I think Yasin Bey is a top tier hip hop artist. And
mm,
secondly, um, because I would love for them to do one more. I know they released one that was for download only, but just to do one more would just
mhm.
make my day. So I understand where you're coming from.